Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Collier. A China Spring man is filing a lawsuit against Hotel Indigo in Waco following a fatal shooting back in July. Jason Nelson says he was woken up by Jared Searles being violent toward 3 women in one of the hotel rooms. Nelson says when he tried to de-escalate the situation, Searles reached for his gun and the two started fighting over the weapon, causing Nelson to fire at Searles. News 10's Jasmine Lotz is live in studio and has more on the lawsuit. Jasmine.
That's right, Gordon. In my hands is the 7-page lawsuit Nelson filed against Hotel Indigo. The lawsuit says that Nelson is seeking damages for physical pain and suffering, mental anguish, loss of earning capacity, punitive damages, and more. He says he's hopeful the lawsuits will send a message to the hotel.
There's glass on the floor. She was screaming that there was a man trying to kill these women inside a room.
A staycation at Hotel Indigo turned stressful for Jason Nelson and his wife Amanda.
The noise, the furniture smashing, the glass crashing, the women screaming that there was obviously an immediate need for intervention, de-escalation.
On July 14th of last year, the Nelsons say they were woken up to women screaming at around 3 in the morning a few doors down from theirs. Nelson says after he knocked to de-escalate the situation, he was met with Jared Searles cursing and slamming the door. Nelson says on the 3rd attempt, Searles grabbed Nelson by his neck, held him up against the wall, and reached for Nelson's gun. Then Nelson says they started tussling over the weapon. He says with no hotel security and police on the way, he was alone to fend for himself and had no choice but to fire.
Even in the worst situation, you don't want to kill someone. That's not your intent. Your intent is to stop the threat. I feel like if I'd had help, that we wouldn't have needed a firearm. I tried his best to de-escalate and not escalate the situation.
The disabled veteran says he was left with bone bruising.
If you're wondering how painful that is, it's excruciating.
And couldn't sleep for 2 months straight. But Nelson says his wife's mental state is more important to him.
Why were we alone? Where was hotel security? You know, these are the things that, you know, they really bother her, and you know, she doesn't leave the house as much as she used to.
Nelson says he filed a lawsuit against the hotel, hoping it would cause management to enhance security measures.
There's no reason why they have a history of violence within the hotel that they don't share with their guests. And knowing all of this, there's absolutely zero reason that they should have removed their cameras or not had cameras, not even in elevators, and not had a security team.
Nelson says between the mental and physical therapy and knowing his wife is scarred, he wants the lawsuit to prevent any other guests going through the turmoil they had to.
They owe my wife. My wife having a rifle in her face alone is enough. It should never have happened.
I reached out to Hotel Indigo for a response, and management told me they do not have a comment at this time. Nelson says if the lawsuit goes in he and his wife's favor, they plan to give the money back to the community. In the studio, Jasmine Lotz, KWTX News 10.